Could PJ Tucker be included in a James Harden trade to the Los Angeles Clippers? We're going to talk about that on today's Philadelphia 76ers now, but also on the docket. Could Philadelphia have some interest in Rudy Gay, who is just let go and is officially an NBA free agent? And what is Joel Embiid's future with the Philadelphia 76ers? I'm Chase Sr. Thanks for watching the show. Hope all of you out there are getting set to have a fantastic weekend. Let's start on the James Harden front here. We're only going to talk about him very lightly because, to be frank, I'm tired of talking about James Harden. But PJ Tucker is now entering the equation here. James Harden on Instagram yesterday with this subtle message. It reads, "Been comfortable for so long, it's time to get uncomfortable." What that means, I'm not sure. He certainly looked uncomfortable in that environment at TD Garden for Game 7 against the Boston Celtics, and he might as well have just stayed home because he basically didn't show up for that basketball game. But Los Angeles Clippers still said to be interested in Harden. Could they be interested in PJ Tucker as well? And could that be the package deal that gets this deal done for Philadelphia, Daryl Morey and company, to surround Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey with some pieces to have them equipped to try to chase after that vaunted NBA championship? Michael Scotto, HoopsHype, with this update and report on PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, he said, Harden's longtime teammate with the Rockets, now the Sixers, has come up in trade discussions between the 76ers and the Clippers, league sources told HoopsHype. The Clippers covet Tucker's ability to guard multiple positions and to defend the league's top opposing scorers. Tucker is owed $11 million this upcoming year and has an $11.5 million player option for the 2024-2025 season. I already know that a lot of Sixers fans out there very excited about the thought of PJ Tucker going elsewhere because of his lack of offensive game. But our dreams of watching PJ Tucker and Patrick Beverley may not happen, because I'll tell you what, for other teams who are going to line up against Philadelphia, if Tucker, Beverley are able to take the floor together, this is basically what they're going to envision and what they're going to see. Just a couple of pit bulls in that back alley brawl who are not scared of a fight. They are two dogs who I think the personality traits are needed for a soft, enabling organization that hasn't made it past the second round since 2001 and is always looking for excuses. What Tucker was able to bring this team last year, I thought was really important for the culture of this team. The same can be said for Patrick Beverley. Now, we're only getting started on today's show. We're revving up that engine today, ladies and gentlemen. But first, if a trade does happen, I guarantee you we're going to talk about it. We're going to go live right here on 76ers Now. We are approaching 12,000 subscribers. This summer, the best stretch that this channel has ever embarked on. Be a part of the 76ers Now movement and this community. And if you're looking for year-round Sixers coverage, this is your go-to spot. Simply lock us in by hitting that subscribe button. Also, if we get 100 new subscribers on today's show alone, and I'm going to be taking a peek at the analytics all weekend long, you already know I'm addicted to the YouTube Studio app, the real ones know, I will rock an Allen Iverson retro jersey during a show next week if we get 100 new subs. Hit that sub button. I promise you, our coverage will not disappoint you. I think that PJ Tucker, to be frank, is very underrated, and I think that Sixers fans get too obsessed with the lack of offensive game. Everybody wants to focus on his absent offense, but he defends at a high level, can defend some of the best offensive players in the league, and he helped change the culture for the Sixers organization. How many times did he go up to Embiid throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs, holding him accountable, but also saying, Joel, we are following your lead. Don't go mentally awry here and mentally wonky. We need you to lead the charge. And a voice like that in the locker room is really important. And I know that we're not all fans of Glenn Rivers, but he even admitted that PJ Tucker's presence for this team was vital in them being a little bit more mentally tough. Now, Philadelphia did not get the numbers from Tucker last year that he produced for the Miami Heat in 2021-2022. His points per game pretty much cut in half. Rebounds were down. Minutes down only a couple. Defense was still really good. Almost averaged a steal for Miami. It was a half steal for Philadelphia. Field goal percentage down by about 5 percentage points. And then three-point numbers still very respectable at more than 39% for Philadelphia, but 41.5% for Miami. Really good player for Miami, a solid player for Philadelphia. You also have to factor in that he kind of took a back seat to other players on that Sixers team because they're a little bit more stacked in that scoring department. A plus of PJ Tucker getting moved in this deal to the Los Angeles Clippers, it's the contract that you would be able to get yourself out of. $10.4 million this past season. This upcoming season, it checks in at $11 million. And then there's that player option with that attached year in 2024-2025 of $11.5 million. Daryl Morey has hinted at maybe going all in on the free agency class in 2024 because it's a much better free agency class. And if that's the case, you get rid of PJ Tucker, you're able to really open up a lot of financial resources to attract a couple of marquee players. Now, Bleacher Report did put together a pretty good trade idea that gives you a sense of maybe what Philadelphia might be able to get back. And it's a trade that's pretty interesting because the Heat would receive Damian Lillard, and I saw that the Sixers would receive like Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, and then they would send James Harden and PJ Tucker to the Los Angeles Clippers. That is an interesting trade that maybe could come to fruition, and here's that trade right here, I believe, right? Yeah, Dame, Marcus Morris to the Heat, James Harden, PJ Tucker to the Clippers, and then the Sixers get Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, and then Robert Covington would come to Philadelphia from Los Angeles. And then you get a 2028 and 2029 second-round pick. I wouldn't hate that deal for Philadelphia. You get a young guard under contract for the foreseeable future in Tyler Hero. Can't play a lick of defense, but very good offensive player. He's a walking 20 to 25 points per game guy every single night. Caleb Martin, I thought, was really good throughout the playoffs up until the NBA Finals. Maybe that's the type of trade that could come to fruition to be the apple of Daryl Morey's eye. So what do you think? We're going to tee up this question for the homies here. Would you be cool if the Sixers trade PJ Tucker? Give me a C for cool, and M for mad. You chime in and let us know down in the comment section. As for the latest on Joel Embiid, this one also coming from Michael Scotto of HoopsHype, that the Heat and Knicks kind of monitoring the situation here, the Knicks more so loosely. Here's what he said. Meanwhile, teams around the league, especially the New York Knicks, are monitoring how the Harden saga plays out in Philadelphia and will affect the happiness of MVP Joel Embiid. The Knicks have long admired Embiid and have significant draft capital to dangle. Embiid's former agent, Leon Rose, who now leads New York's front office. Should Embiid ever demand a trade, it's worth noting the Miami Heat has one of his good friends, Jimmy Butler, and a potentially intriguing trade chip in All-Star center Bam Adebayo to dangle in theory. The other day we did talk about this live. I like Adebayo as a trade chip if you're ever to trade Joel Embiid. Good rim running big, excellent athleticism, still young, pretty affordable given his impact on both ends of the floor. Rim protector, lob threat, handles the rock, which I like, and then also has that mid-range game too. A lot of playoff experience. And when you stack these two players up against one another, obviously Embiid's numbers far superior. But in the first 6 years, you see the guy who's played a lot more, Bam Adebayo, with those 314 games to Joel Embiid's 209. Rebounds, blocks, that's always something that Adebayo has thrived with. I think there's a better offensive player in there. Last year, I thought it was his best season up to date in the NBA. He was hovering around 20 points per game. The field goal percentage really good. Doesn't have the three-point game that Embiid has, but would be an intriguing asset to get back for Embiid. We also talked about this live the other day that Embiid, Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, they did talk after Embiid's comments to Maverick Carter in that controversial interview, which we also covered and dissected here on the show. And Daryl Morey pretty much said in that interview with Anthony Gargano that Joel Embiid has reiterated that he does want to be a Philadelphia 76er. No real trade request as of right now. But if this upcoming season goes up in flames, look for Embiid to potentially be frustrated. And my prediction is, if this season is a disaster, Embiid's patience could finally run out. Joel Embiid, a top blank Sixer of all time. I was asked this question in the office the other day. Where does he rank? No particular order. I think the Sixers ahead of Embiid. You have to go Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, Dr. J, Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, and then maybe Embiid in that sixth spot. Again, no particular order with those top five, but you let me know, let those voices and opinions be heard. If you want to interact with me also on Twitter and Instagram, you can do that. Find me on both social media platforms here at Chase_Senior. And not only do we give you great takes, great analysis, great insight, great news and rumors on the Sixers, we have great deals to tell you about as well, like this one from our friends at Fanatics. The Sixers t-shirt shorts combo was $60. It is now on sale for just $33. You can look fresh, rep your squad, and save money all in one. It's unbeatable. Chatsports.com/76ers combo. And if you wear that shirt, people will know that the Sixers team is the one that you rep. Let's round out today's show with Rudy Gay. He's officially a free agent here, was officially let go by the Oklahoma City Thunder, played last year at the Utah Jazz. Last 4 years, Rudy Gay has been on a precipitous decline. If this were several years ago as a bench option who could score the rock, I would be all in. But at this point for Rudy Gay, I think the guy is pretty much cooked as he's in his mid to late 30s. This past year, did play 56 games with Utah, 5 points per game, but under 38% from the field, 25% from three-point range. The Sixers need to bulk up their bench unit. I'd like a player like Kelly Oubre, who's young, more athletic, not a guy who's washed in Rudy Gay, who you can't count on pretty consistently. 2020, 2021, those numbers would be great. 11 points per game for a bad Spurs team, 38% from three-point range. But as you can see, the field goal numbers outside of that, pretty lackluster. The team showing interest right now, according to HoopsHype, it's not the Philadelphia 76ers. As of right now, this moment, it's the Warriors, Lakers, Mavs, Bulls, Pelicans. Warriors, smart team. Lakers, smart team. I like what the Mavs have done this offseason, and then the Bulls and Pelicans, they're always in the dumpster fire. Shout out to Zeeps and Zoe. What's your level of interest in Rudy Gay before we hop on out of here? 1 to 100. I want to know what you think about Rudy Gay. And before we get out of here, I lost a bet to a guy who watches a lot of my content here on YouTube for all of the channels that I do. His name is Danny Martins. He has a YouTube channel called Birdman Drug Stories, and he approached me prior to the Sixers-Celtics series, and he said, if the Sixers lose, I get to appear on your channel. So we're doing that. I'm living up to the bet. Here he is, unfortunately, rocking his Celtics hoodie with the Celtics win and the clover that I hate. I'm an Eagles fan, and I hate the Celtics more than I hate the Cowboys, and that means that I hate Smitty as well, who we just hired, and he's a Celtics fan. But my guy, Danny Martins, thanks for supporting me. Good luck with your YouTube channel. You can check him out. Birdman Drug Stories has a pretty fascinating path, and even though he's a Celtics fan, he's a pretty good guy. I lost the bet. I'm living up to it. There you go, Danny.